Hello. Sorry about that. Hello, this is Kalitha. Um, just wanted to make another vlog tonight. Um, tonight I went to a meeting and it was to go over our budget for our city. And it was a great meeting. Um, Meanwhile, after the meeting, we always kind of have a meeting after the meeting and kind of talk and go over things, kind of touch bases with each other. So tonight, I told this story in trying to explain to my friend Stacy, kind of like my outlook on life. She's known me since Joseph was killed, which has been that was 3 years ago, and I knew her before this time. She asked me, what is my philosophy and how do I do all the stuff that I do? What motivates me? So, I guess what motivates me is basically love. Some people are motivated by money. I'm going to turn this down. This is Breathe. That's the music that's playing in the background. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so it's not so loud. Um, what motivates me? Um, like I said, some people are motivated by money, and I understand that because in our time, money is a necessity and it's very important to have. Let's adjust my light a little bit. That's too light. Uh, uh, uh. Anyway, it is what it is. I can't get this together. Anyway, um what motivates me? Why do I keep going? What would be the benefit of me to not keep going? Um, I've had adversities in my life. Everybody has adversities. Um, but I don't focus on the adversities. I focus on all the love that has been shown to me. And it's been a lot. A lot of people love me, have rooted for me, have helped me, have been there for me, including Stacy. She's known me, like I say, for years and years and years. She's been with me through everything that I've gone through, and I've been in her life and I've seen her go through bad days, and and I support her, and we've done a lot of work together, and we've did a lot of good things together, and we've helped so many people. Um, Domestic violence victims, homeless people, children, fed families, found people a place to stay, paid folks bills. We did a lot of really good things to help others. And we still advocate for other people who are not there. When we get a chance to talk to legislators and the big money people, to tell them these stories of these people, and the reason why I talk to influential and powerful people the way that I do is because I understand what it's like to be in a bad situation, and I also understand what it's like to be in a powerful position. And to know when you can't do everything. You can't do everything. You can only do what you can do, even when you're in a position of power. Some people you can help, some people you can't help, and sometimes you got to choose. So that brings me to the story that I want to tell you tonight. So I was saying to Stacy, because I've had people say to me, you should do this and you should do that and you should do this and you should do that. And I don't know what I'm going to do, but this. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do what I can do. What I cannot do, I'm not going to worry about it. It's out of my hands. What other people do, I'm not concerned, because I have no control over what other people do. There are some people who try to manipulate and influence, and that's what rocks their boat. But that's not what motivates me. That's not what keeps me going, being able to manipulate people. Because when you're a puppet master, you got to be about that all the time. And I'm not. I'm just trying to enjoy my life and do what I'm supposed to do. Other people have their own journey. It is not for me to manipulate or try to control or try to influence them. They will have to come to that part in their life where the rubber meets the road, baby. And when that happens, I will not be there. They've got to make a choice. Just like I had to make a choice. Just like you had to make a choice. And when are you going to stop blaming other people for your predicaments and your situations and your circumstances? Because after a certain period of time, that's played out. And people in a position of power, they ain't trying to hear that. They don't care nothing about your sob stories. They don't care nothing about, woe is me, and my mama ain't love me, and my dad ain't love me, and my dog died. They ain't trying to hear that. They are not trying to hear that. So you have to get beyond that. And how you get beyond that is, someone is trying to manipulate you. You got to know within yourself who you are. And you can only do what you can do. Manipulation is when somebody is trying to get you to do something that is outside of your comfort zone, that is something that you really have no control over and can't do nothing about it. So people in a position of power, they can only do so much. They can't do everything. Poor people want rich people to share their money. But if the poor person had the money, what would they do with the money? So many people have given, I'm going to say myself, given to certain other people. And they have taken that and they have harmed themselves with it. And when you're a person in a position of power and you give a resource, because resources are limited. They are limited. You cannot give everything to everybody. Okay, so you've got to make a decision who's going to receive and who is not going to receive. Okay, and when you make a decision to give to this person and they squander it, that gets to be annoying. And many people of power decide, well, I'm not going to give none of them nothing. Let them go without. Let them go without. I didn't have nobody to help me in that, to that extent, or to do this or to do that. So let them figure it out on their own. The sun rises and falls upon us all. We all get, when it's raining, we all get wet. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or whether you're poor, whether you're homeless or whether you live in a penthouse. When it rains on everybody. When the sun shines, it shines on everybody. Okay? When there's cloud coverage, it covers everybody. And that's where a lot of people of power are at. They can do only what they can do, and what they do go out of their way to provide or whatever is squandered, is disrespected. It is there's no gratitude about it. And the person that they help, when that person gets in a position, who do they help? Nobody. They usually abandon their families, abandon their children. They do all kinds of horrible things with the money that they receive to hurt other people, not help them. So you come to think, okay, there's a reason why certain people have power. There's a reason why certain people have money. And there's a reason why others don't. Because they can't handle the responsibility that comes with it. There's something to having money and power and prestige. There's a responsibility that goes with it. And some people think that the more that you have, the less responsible you have to be, the more selfish you can be. And that's just not true. And there's so many people who have been that way, and they end up with nothing. You know, there's so many people who have gained money and prestige and fame, and they have a drug overdose, die of a drug overdose. There's one particular person that I'm thinking of who I thought was phenomenal. I've seen him in the limelight since he was young. And, you know, he took all of those experiences and all of those opportunities and all that money, and he went and got high on Skid Row. Left his family, went and used drugs. Today, I don't even know if he's alive or if he's dead, where he is. And you wonder what caused that. Pride? You know, pride cometh before a fall. Maybe that's his situation. I don't know. But in a position of power, there's a great responsibility. When you get money, there's a great responsibility. You got to make a decision. You got to make a choice what to do. Some people just want to buy their mom a house. Some people forget that they ever even had family. Some people leave the country lock, stock, and barrel. Some people do all kinds of things, you know. I don't know why I'm thinking about Toya, but you know, she got fame. She was married to Wayne back in the day, and trying to help her family, and then her brothers, after all that she's invested in them and trying to help them and all of that, and they end up getting gunned down. You know, you wonder, you know, the things that you do, the reason why you do it. Was she doing it to manipulate them and to control them? Did she do it out of love? Was it in vain? Should she have not been doing that? Would they be alive today if she had just allowed her mother, for them to deal with their mother and just do what they were going to do? Would they have come up to the same end? What good did it do for her to bring them with her? You know, and try to take care of them and get them into school and help them. What difference did it make? They're both dead. You know, and let's not forget that before they died, they also drug her for, you know, talked about her like a dog and was giving accolades to somebody else that's not even their blood. These are the things that go through the mind of people in power, and what decision they should make, and how to disseminate resources amongst people who don't have resources. It's a tough, tough, tough decision to make. And it's easy to be on the outside and say, oh, the Illuminati this and the Illuminati that, and they eating babies and drinking blood and worshiping the devil and all of this, but you really don't know because you're an outsider. And you think that you understand a situation, and you don't. Because unless you're the Indian walking in those moccasins, you really can't say. You don't know what you're talking about. You know? Most people don't even know what's going on in their own life, much less what's going on in a secret society. Most people have an altered state of reality in their own personal life, a false sense of security in their own private life. So how can they sit and talk about powerful people's lives or rich people's lives, or try to figure out what that's all about and what they do and why they do it and how they do it? They're trying to figure it out because they want to be like them. But there's a reason why they're not. The responsibility is serious. Every decision that you make you know. And some people don't even look at their current lives. They don't see the importance of the decisions that they make now in their own lives, being a poor person, you know. They only do what they're forced to do, some people, you know. They're not trying to make the very best decision for themselves and their family for today and for the future. And that's really hard to do. That's really hard to do. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. So many decisions I tried to make just being a parent. Good God. I just did the best I could do. That's all I could do. Hope for the best, man. Because there came a point where, you know, you want to say black is black and white is white, and honey, 1 + 1 = 2 all day, every day. You would think, but there's too many variables. There's too many unknowns. You know, just do what you can do. Hope for the best, and for some people it works out. I don't know how, but it does. Um, and for other people, um, it doesn't work out. Maybe it doesn't work out for anybody, you know. I know this one lady, she told me that her mother wanted her to grow up to have a man to beat her. How about that for a goal? I really thought she was lying, because I can't believe any mother would wish that for her daughter. But that's what she wanted for her daughter to experience domestic violence. And it hurt the girl's feelings, and she really took it to heart. And I was like, honey, does that sound like a sane person to you? That's not something that anybody who loves their child would ever say. And she figured that much out on her own, but she really, in her mind, she needed to believe that her mother was sane but cruel. And the fact is that her mother was insane and cruel. And once she realized that, then she could move on. And she has a pretty good life now, and she's pretty happy. But if you were to talk to her mother, she would be very disappointed, because her child is not a victim of domestic violence. So that's life. Everybody's got to live their own. It makes me smile because it's a wonderful world. It's kind of crazy. Just a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of fine tuning, and you can just be like her too, having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful life. The things that people do and say that hurt you, you have to understand some people are not all right. That's why they do and say the things that they do. They're crazy. They're insane. There's something wrong with them. So you cannot measure them by the same litmus test as a person who is sane. That's all. Very simple. So here's the story. The story is set back in maybe the 1930s, before the Great Depression. And this is a time when industries were just kicking up, factories, and a lot of times a rich person would build a factory, and the town would grow up around that factory. And stores, a general store would be open. Some people would farm property. Some people would have livestock. So the factory was like the centerpiece of the city. So they would ring a bell in the morning, and that's how you would know that it's time to go to work. And the midday bell would ring, and a lot of people would go home to eat. and the bell will ring again. They go back to work, and then at the end of the day, the bell will go off. If you ever watched the Flintstones, and they would pull that horn, and that's how you knew Fred knew it was time to go home, and he'd be burning rubber out of there. Well, it's the same kind of concept that's based on a true principle from back in the day. So this story is about a man, which is also back in the day, women didn't work in certain factory settings, industries, only men. So this man was going to work early before the whistle blew, and it was a crisp, cold morning, very cold. So he had on his gloves, his boots, the ground was frosty, because frost would come, which is like fog, and it would freeze on the grass. So when you walk through it, it crunch. And as he was walking through, there was cattle roaming, that had gotten out of the fence and stuff. And there were cow patties, and there would be steam rising from the cow patties. It was still warm. So as he was walking, he happened to look down and saw a little bird laying in the frozen grass. So he picked up the little bird with his gloved hands, and he blew on the bird. And the bird stirred a little bit, so he knew it wasn't dead. So he had made his coffee, had his mug of coffee with him, and back in the day, they were thermos, with the coffee cup on the top of it. And he had a little extra something in there in the coffee for a little extra heat. So he gave a little bit of that to the bird, just a little bit, and the bird began to stir a little bit more. And he gave the bird a little bit more coffee and, probably whiskey. Meanwhile, as he's watching the bird, moving his hands, and he's blowing the warm breath on the bird, the bell tolls or rings, blows. So he needs to get off to work so he won't be late. So he's got the little bird in his hand, and he's looking around like, oh, what can I do with this bird? So he sees the cow patty. So he puts the bird in one hand, and he bends down and makes a little hole in the cow patty, and puts the bird down in the cow patty, covers the bird over, and then he heads off to the factory to work. Well, after he put the bird down, his thoughts immediately went to going to work and how he had gotten distracted, and now he was going to be there a little bit later than what he had anticipated. So meanwhile, in the cow patty, the little bird, the caffeine is kicking in, and the whiskey is kicking in, and the little bird is feeling pretty good about himself. He's feeling all right. He's warm. He feels good. So he pops his head up out of the cow patty as the sun is beginning to rise, and the sun's rays are bathing through the leaves onto the cow patty. And the bird is feeling so good, and he's so happy and so grateful for the help that he received. He just takes a deep breath and starts to sing to the morning sun. And his little voice is so beautiful in the morning. And meanwhile, there's a wolf moving about, and the wolf hears the birds singing, so he comes sniffing over stealthily, and he sees a little bird just singing, and he goes over there, and with one bite gobbles the bird up. And that's it. That's the end of the story. How about that? The man did his act of kindness and never thought about it again. Whatever happened to the bird or whatever, he went on with his life. The little bird, although being grateful and having been blessed, his life was ended. And the wolf, who is a predator and a killer, now has a full belly for breakfast, or got a little appetizer for breakfast, because I'm sure he'll be looking for whatever else he can find to eat, because that's what wolves do. So the moral of the story is, if you're the little bird, everybody that may put you in a shitty situation isn't always your enemy. That's just all that they could do. You know, they don't have time to really, they're trying to do the best that they could for you, not leaving you completely naked and vulnerable, so they put you in some shit. And the shit kind of covers you and keeps you from certain prying eyes. Certain people are not even going to look at you because you're in some shit. Okay. And everybody who takes you out of that shitty situation, so-called come to your aid, takes you out of it, isn't always your friend. And if you ever find yourself in a shitty situation, don't be sticking your neck out and bringing attention to yourself. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. When you're in a vulnerable situation, even though you're grateful that you're alive and you're grateful that you have been blessed, even though you are in some shit, you're still alive. You're still blessed. You know? But that's not the time to go singing about it. Wait until you're back in your nest. Wait until you're back safe. Wait until you are on your feet again, where predators cannot come in and so-called get you out of your situation by giving you some weed to sell, by getting you to sign your name on a contract in blood, or whatever kind of scheme they want to get you into. Come on, let's rob this so and so and so. Let's get this money. Okay. That's what predators do. Oh, they're going to help you out of your situation, but you're going to be in a worse situation, and you may lose your life, and they'll be the cause of it, but they can so-called helping you. So that's what we were talking about after the meeting tonight. How do you like that story? It's an old one. I didn't write it. I'm not the author of it. I don't know who the author is, but it's a good enough story that is worth sharing. And I love stories from back in the Great Depression, before that era, in between the First World War and the Second World War, when we were in battles, you know, against the Koreans, the Korean War, one of the most bloodiest wars we've ever had. It's a beautiful, beautiful world for the wise, and it is a treacherous, mean, mean place for those who are foolish. You know, they say only the strong survive. So who are the ones that are protecting those that are weak, who don't deserve to survive, and why are they sparing them for? A worse fate? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. I don't know. Let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video. If you like this story or have heard a similar story, let me know. Go ahead and subscribe, so whenever I upload new videos, you'll be able to get access to those too. You'll know when I do that, so you can see them right away. and I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye now.